Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. Hope is concerned about Liam's actions and asks her ex to explain what's wrong with him. Steffi tells Liam she won't give up on a miracle as they both pull away from an embrace. Liam informs her that Steffi is the one who could will this to go away. Perhaps a miracle is more about making a lasting impression than it is about living a long life. Steffi advises him to concentrate on other things, such as his health, and says, "That would be my miracle if I could find a way to make peace between Hope and Steffi before the end." "Steffi, I'm dying." He must assist. With his remaining time, he wishes to assist. Just as Finn arrives home, he begins to feel dizzy and runs over to help him keep upright. He is seated by Steffi and Finn, and Liam announces that he has scheduled a visit with Dr. Buckingham. Liam wants them to be realistic, but Finn reassures them that the neuro team is maintaining their optimism. In reference to herself and Hope, Steffi states, "Yeah, realistic about some things." Liam feels he can help them because he maintains that he is the cause of their rift. He needs to go check on Hope, by the way. Before he departs, Steffi implores him to inform Hope of the situation. CBS Television's The Bold and the Beautiful, set in Los Angeles, California, stars Tanner Novlin, Scott Clifton, and Jacqueline Moanis Wood. Airdate, May 6, 25. Copyright Howard Wise/PaStudios.com. 310-657-9661. Episode number 9519 US. Finn and Steffi discuss how difficult it is now that Liam is no longer with them, but he is grateful for their friendship and co-parenting connection. In response, Steffi says that one of Liam's greatest qualities has always been his goodness. Carter hopes for a better future. Carter begs Hope not to give up on them, but Deacon interrupts. "I thought I told you to stay away from my daughter." Hope says she doesn't need her father to be her lifeguard, but she does appreciate him watching out for him. Carter says he won't give up on a future with Hope before leaving them to speak. Though she can handle her own romantic life, Hope is aware of her father's good intentions. When Liam knocks on the door, Deacon is still raving about Carter. After giving him a warm handshake and declaring his departure, Deacon turns to Hope and says, "If you're looking for long-term happiness, it might be closer than you think." Hope tries to persuade her father to take a back seat, but he maintains that Liam is a decent man who has matured. Hope ushers Deacon out when he prods them further about a future together. Liam claims it was touching, but she later apologizes. Hope's expression is bewildered. "I've been truly blessed to have you in my life all this time." Will and Electra feel uncomfortable around Daphne. Electra is impressed by Will's reminder that amethyst is her birthstone, but they are cut short when Daphne peeks into the office to find Carter. They haven't both seen him. Perhaps he is with Hope. Electra cheerfully recommends. Daphne doesn't appear pleased with that notion. However, she is pleased with Electra's non-amethyst jewelry. Daphne is discussing how Forrester and he are better off without Hope when Carter returns. Relieved to escape that uncomfortable situation, Will and Electra run to the design office. Will would want to concentrate on her, but Electra says she senses Daphne is interested in Carter. Will is embraced by Electra, and they share a kiss. Carter asks what he heard when he's by himself, and Daphne readily shares what she said about Hope with him. In the last scenes of the show, Electra is in awe of the fantastic life she has created here, both at work and outside of it, and Will gushes to her about how wonderful she is and what she can accomplish with only a little stone. They share another kiss. Daphne urges Carter to start over with her, saying she firmly feels he would be better off going on without Hope. When Finn inquires about Steffi's belief that she and Hope may ever truly get back together, Steffi simply responds that it reveals his character. She fervently hopes that he is informing Hope about his impending death. Sadly, she argues, he must. Hope continues to talk of their daughter's blessings, saying, "She knows you'll always be there for her. And she can rely on you." Liam expresses gratitude to her for always providing Beth with a loving environment. Hope claims that she is and always will be protected because she has us. When Hope asks Liam what's going on, he simply responds that he's doing some introspection. He tells Hope, "You are the only person I appreciate more than anyone else." We jump back to the time he informed Hope that Beth was still alive after he recalled believing she had passed away. To Hope's perplexity, he breaks down in tears as he considers how much Beth has changed. "Would you kindly explain the issue to me?" Liam considers Steffi's warning to inform Hope. After the Deacon encourages them to get back together, Liam starts crying as he gets ready to tell Hope he's dying. Tuesday, May 6, 2025, today on Bold and the Beautiful, Daphne tells Carter he's better off without Hope, Steffi awes at Liam's goodness, and Deacon encourages Hope to think about getting back together with Liam. Read the most recent B&B recap. Liam wanted Steffi and Hope to be at peace, Ridge sent Brooke away once more, and Carter pledged to wait for Hope. Steffi assures Liam that a miracle will occur at the Cliff home. She cannot allow him to perish. He is certain that she would be the one to will this to end. He believes that bringing about harmony between her and Hope is his miracle, not extending his life. She finds it unbelievable that he is considering this at this time. In order to be good to go, he is resolved to make the most of his remaining time by helping. Liam almost passes out as Finn enters. Liam is given water, and Finn encourages him to schedule another meeting with Grace. According to the doctor, everyone is hopeful and hasn't given up. According to Liam, they must be practical. Steffi does not believe that peace with Hope is possible. All Liam wants is for them to be happy. He gets a ride. He will visit Hope and establish the foundation. Steffi advises him to inform Hope that he is dying. Steffi tells her husband that she doesn't want Liam to suffer after he leaves. Finn adores their wonderful relationship. Steffi claims that despite their extensive past, she has never doubted his goodness. They discuss how unselfish Liam is and whether she can reconcile with Hope. All she can hope is that Liam is informing Hope that he is dying. Carter asks Hope not to give up on them at Brooks. He is committed to demonstrating his worth via his deeds. When Deacon enters, he is upset to see Carter with his daughter. Hope tells her father he can't decide who she can see, and Carter says he abides by Deacon's advice to keep away. Reiterating that he has not given up on a future with Hope, Carter leaves. Liam arrives while Deacon is ranting about Carter. Deacon makes the decision to go, advising his daughter that she might be closer than she believes to finding lasting happiness. He bemoans Carter's exploitation of his daughter before leaving. Although he claims they aren't growing any younger and may yet have a future together, he also has problems with Liam. He adds, "Have fun, kids," and walks away. Although Hope is sorry for his father, Liam found his words to be heartwarming. He expresses to her his gratitude for having her in his life. They talk about how much their daughter knows she can rely on him and how much they adore her. He expresses gratitude to her for providing Beth with a loving environment. He becomes thoughtful and wanders the room, revealing that he has been reflecting on his life. She thinks that's good. Reminding her of all the agony they went through when they believed they had lost their daughter, Liam expresses his gratitude to her. Beth is now doing well, content, and just as intelligent as her mother. Hope asks him what's wrong and discusses all the milestones they can still celebrate together. He begins to quiver when he considers Steffi urging him to come clean. Daphne, searching for Carter, interrupts Electra as she teases Will about not recognizing Amethyst at Forrester. Electra is certain that he visited Hope. They discuss her most recent design. She did it for HFTF, thus she is unsure of its current whereabouts. They are all better off without HFTF, according to Daphne. Carter can see it, too. As she says this, Carter appears. Electra tells Will that she feels Daphne is interested in Carter as they leave. She questions whether Hope is aware. They kiss and Will would want to chat about her. He compliments her on how amazing she is. She continues to talk about how amazing everything is. Daphne informs Carter that he is much better off without Hope once they are back at the office. She advises him to start over with her. In one of the most shocking and, some would argue, delusional moves of his career, Carter Walton, who has always been the voice of reason, the stoic professional, and the man who walked the moral high ground even when it cost him everything, asks Ridge Forrester, of all people, to help Hope Logan. This is not about fashion or a legal dispute, but rather about her personal life, her emotional future, and the complicated web of heartbreak she's been in since Liam's devastating diagnosis and the emotional fallout that followed. Though to those closely observing, this move feels more like a desperate gamble, a blind leap into territory he has no business entering, Carter feels that he is acting appropriately by stepping in as a worried friend and attempting to secure a lifeline for a woman he obviously cares about more than he will admit. Because if there's one thing that ought to be clear by now, it's that Carter, who typically considers all the options before acting, should have known better than to involve Ridge, the patriarch with a notorious history of controlling others in the name of family. However, even the most rational man may become blinded by love, and in this instance, Carter's good intentions may end up unraveling more than he could have ever envisioned. We must go back to Carter's heart, which is knotted, beating cautiously, and unquestionably inclined toward hope, in order to comprehend how he could even entertain such a bold idea. Hope has been emotionally collapsing over the past several months, torn between regretting her role in their broken marriage, feeling guilty for Liam's deteriorating health, and the loneliness that has begun to creep into her life like an unstoppable storm cloud. Carter has been there through it all, quietly and persistently, without being overt or loud, a man providing presence rather than coercion. Fans have witnessed that Carter is in love with Hope, even if he has never gone too far. He might not say it. Maybe she doesn't realize it. However, it is evident in the tenderness of his eyes when she talks, in the tactful language he uses to protect her against the Forresters, and in the pain that underlies each moment in which he sees her leave with someone else. Now that Hope is feeling more alone than ever, struggling with Liam's more unpredictable emotional outbursts and the weight of her family's expectations, Carter notices a lack of support and takes action, but not by expressing his own emotions. Rather, he turns to Ridge in a move that even his closest friends and family find puzzling. His reasoning is incorrect and multi-layered. As Hope's father-in-law and a powerful figure in her family and professional circles, Carter thinks Ridge can help bring order to the chaos around her. In order to give Hope a new beginning, he thinks Ridge may act as a mediator between Hope and Brooke and possibly even assist in arranging a reunion with the Forresters. Perhaps most naively, he thinks that Ridge's involvement could pave the way for Hope to find peace, which could eventually bring her to Carter. This is more than simply hope, though. It's risky. Due to the fact that Ridge is not an impartial party. Ridge and Hope have always had a complex relationship. Depending on how well she fits his idea of the Forrester family, he frequently veers between grudging acceptance and outright rejection. From Carter's perspective, Ridge's allegiances come first to Steffi, then to Thomas, and finally, perhaps, to anybody else. Ridge never forgets. He refuses to let go. Furthermore, his propensity to help frequently results in the pulling of strings behind the scenes in ways that ruin lives rather than improve them. As a result, Ridge's first reaction is understandably dubious when Carter enters his office and makes his case sincere, portraying Hope as overburdened, unsupported, and in need of direction. "What do you want me to do?" Ridge's eyes narrow as he asks. "Aid Hope? When she abandoned Liam? When did she do that again with Thomas?" Carter makes an effort to clarify and present it as compassion rather than duty, but Ridge, who is never one to mince words, recognizes that Carter isn't merely attempting to assist Hope. He has strong feelings. In love, perhaps. Ridge pauses at that understanding, not out of sympathy but out of worry. Because Ridge is aware of the consequences that arise when Carter approaches emotionally unavailable women too closely. He has witnessed the consequences, with Quinn, Katie, and Zoe. Carter now wishes to place Hope in the same disorderly group? Ridge doesn't explicitly say no. "You better be sure, Carter," he simply cautions him. "Because there is no turning back once I enter this." Carter continues to go forward. He thinks that perhaps, just possibly, Hope will be able to regain her footing if Ridge can resolve the conflict between Brooke and Hope, quell Steffi's growing animosity, and persuade the Forresters to give Hope some breathing room. Carter believes that if that occurs, she might finally realize what has been in front of her the entire time. Carter overlooks the fact that Hope doesn't require another man to act as her go-between, which is what makes this approach seem not only naive but even crazy. Ridge's brand of help, which typically include manipulation and control, is not what she needs. Honesty is what she needs. Agency. Room to grieve, recover, and make her own decisions. Additionally, Carter inadvertently undercuts it by enlisting Ridge. Even worse, the move nearly instantly backfires. Ridge starts to interfere in ways Hope dislikes, possibly out of a misguided sense of obligation. He puts pressure on Brooke to talk to Hope about her future and starts advocating for Hope and Liam to get back together, which surprises her given Liam's emotional and physical instability. Confused but influenced by Ridge, Brooke starts to echo his worries, and all of a sudden, Hope is surrounded by voices advising her what to do once more. She believed she had finally started to establish her independence at that point. She is shocked to discover that Carter was the one who initially approached Ridge. I was hurt. Not because he didn't mean well, but rather because he avoided her. He didn't inquire about her desires. He simply made an assumption. Like all the others before him. Carter had the right heart, but his decision betrays a deeper weakness that he has never fully addressed, his propensity to love emotionally unavailable people and want to save them rather than deal with his own emotional scars. It's the same with Hope. He tells himself that he is being honorable, but in reality, he is pursuing an uncontrollable goal. Furthermore, he might have destroyed the same relationship he was attempting to save. This move might have repercussions for weeks. Once more embroiled in a power battle between Logan and Forrester, Ridge might intensify his interference. Pushed by Ridge and perplexed by Hope's defiance of authority, Brooke might snap. Steffi, who has long been suspicious of Hope's position within the Forrester family, might use this error to further distance herself from her. Additionally, Hope may begin to doubt everyone's intentions, even Carter's, as she becomes more and more disillusioned and emotionally raw. What about Carter? Standing in the midst of the debris, he will have to face the repercussions of his desperation masquerading as loyalty. His steady heart and calm affection were insufficient because they were accompanied by choices that compromised Hope's independence. He outsourced her healing in an attempt to provide her serenity. However, she needed someone who trusted her to make her own decisions. Fans of The Bold and the Beautiful are preparing for one of the show's most dramatic and unexpected plot turns, Hope Logan's victorious return, not just to Forrester Creations, but to herself. Hope returns to the forefront with a clarity and fury that remind everyone exactly who she is, not just a daughter, not just a designer, not just a woman divided between lineages, but a force in her own right after weeks of agonizing soul-searching, betrayal rumors, and tragic truths. Her world turns into an emotional crucible as she regains her footing, with Bill Spencer making a devastating pledge that might alter everything and her complex father, Deacon Sharp, revealing a revelation that nobody, not even Hope, anticipated. A lady is reborn from the ashes of her heartache, but what transpires next demonstrates that in Los Angeles, even success never comes without a price. Hope's comeback starts with silence, the type that draws attention as soon as she walks into the building, rather than with flair. The tearful, emotionally damaged Hope that fans had become accustomed to in recent weeks is no longer there. She is replaced with a strong, elegant lady whose eyes sparkle with silent determination. Hope had taken some time to vanish, to grieve, to become angry, and most importantly, to heal after removing herself from the turmoil, from Liam's agonizing decline, from Thomas's lingering shadow, and from the oppressive weight of family expectations. She now comes back to reclaim her space, not to apologize or provide an explanation. Whispers fill the Forrester Creations hallways as soon as she enters the design office. Ridge takes a moment to think. Brooke had tears in her eyes. Even Steffi, who is frequently quick to condemn, acknowledges that the woman in front of her has an unwavering strength. Hope Logan is defining herself instead of waiting for someone else to do it. The emotional stakes outside the boardroom are about to soar, though, and it starts with a scene that goes deeper than anyone could have predicted. Bill Spencer, standing by himself at his Bel Air estate, gazing out at the skyline while remembering a long-ago promise. Her professional return is greeted with cautious awe. In a rare display of emotion, Bill tells Wyatt that he has made a private promise that he never meant to say out loud, that if the terrible happens to Liam, he will do everything it takes to keep Hope and Beth safe. For his son and the lady who once brought Liam comfort, he did it out of love, not duty or remorse. The camera lingers on Bill's face, which is rarely exposed but is now shaking with emotion, as he confesses that he fears the worst because of Liam's recent actions. Everything has been a ticking clock, the tumor, the pain, the erratic mood swings. The previously vicious tycoon Bill is now a guy who is witnessing the disintegration of his legacy. But instead of expressing his anger, he is using it to do something kind and admirable, making sure that, should that terrible day arrive, Hope never has to face the following chapter by herself. Fans are reminded why Bill is still one of the most interesting and multifaceted characters on the show when he adds quietly, "I failed Liam in more ways than I can count, but I won't fail her." Hope's heart skips a beat as she gets a text message across town, "Deacon wants to meet." Immediately. By themselves. Although her father's role in her life has always been a mixed bag, part calamity waiting to happen, part redemption story, something about his message feels different this time. There is no manipulation or taunting when they meet at Il Giardino. Deacon is being serious. Fearful, even. Then the shock hits, he has been hiding something that has to do with her. Hope bracing herself at first, wondering if it's another woman. A betrayal? A scandal? However, Deacon discloses something far more intimate. He has been working behind the scenes to make it possible for Hope to fully take creative control of her fashion business, free from the Forresters and her mother's shadow. It's more than just a commercial decision. It's a sign of faith. Despite all of his previous shortcomings, Deacon is now acting on his commitment to his daughter rather than making excuses. In order to grant Hope the one thing she has secretly yearned for, freedom, he has pulled strings, asked for favors, and taken use of connections she was unaware he had. Something changes in Hope's heart at that very moment. She saw her father as a guy attempting, with sincerity, to make apologies rather than as a warning story. The emotional landscape of the bold and the beautiful starts to realign as these three emotional threads, Deacon's unexpected gift, Bill's secret commitment, and Hope's powerful return, intertwine. Old allegiances are put to the test. New coalitions are formed. The ultimate question that viewers are left to consider is, what will Hope do with all of this pressure, love, and power? Will she fall back into her old habits and be tempted by the men who define her once more? Or will she actually rise, into a totally other version of herself? The subtlety is what gives this moment its depth. Hope is neither a ruthless giant nor only a damsel. She is in the middle, a woman who repeatedly learns that strength does not always equate to fire. It appears to be grace at times. It can seem like going back in without saying sorry at times. At moments, it seems like you're listening to a father you nearly abandoned. Or taking a vow from a man you used to be afraid of. Or just being strong when everyone else thought you would break. As the week goes on, rumors of stress start to circulate. Thomas narrows his eyes as he awaits Hope's return, wondering if this newfound freedom means the door is cracked open or closed. Steffi cautions Hope not to believe the Spencer charm after spotting Bill hovering nearby and starting to suspect ulterior motivations. Even Brooke is caught in the emotional crossfire, divided between wanting to protect her daughter and seeing her go down routes that she used to be afraid to take. Hope, though? She does not lose her composure. Though unaffected by it, they are not immune to the emotional whirlwind. Hope is shown standing by herself in the Forrester showroom in the last moments of the Friday episode. The illumination is low. She exhales as she glances up at her drawings, which are now, at last, genuinely hers. She says to herself, "I'm not going back," just before the screen goes black, and she doesn't. Hope Logan has had enough of being the echo of other people's tales. She is going to write her own story with Bill's commitment by her side, Deacon's encouragement by her side, and an unquenchable fire in her heart.